What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Evan and I make videos about hot stocks, dividends, and options. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Today we're going to cover if NIO could continue growing if somehow they lost government support, and we're also going to go over how much the government actually supports NIO and how much of an influence they've had on NIO's share price so far. But before we get into it, if you guys wouldn't mind going down and hitting the like button, it really helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are enjoying these NIO updates every day. So make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy these type of videos. But with that out of the way, you can see today NIO is down 3% at 3.2% down. And it's actually kind of interesting because if we compare NIO to the actual overall market, they're not down as much as the overall market is. They are down because the overall market is down today, but they didn't follow the same exact path as the market. And this seems like a common occurrence with NIO. They sort of have a mind of their own, and they kind of do their own thing in terms of their share price. So now if we compare NIO, here's NIO's graph for today, and then here's SPY, which watches the overall market. And you can see they're pretty similar, but SPY is actually more on a downwards trend for the day. And it looks like SPY is still heading down in after hours trading. Where if we go back to NIO, you can see they had a relatively big dip this morning, but then they recovered and they actually traded pretty flat and somewhat went up throughout the day. And they've been pretty much flat all day. And this $27 price point, it seems like it's a pretty good support line for NIO. And they don't seem to be dipping much below this area. So I think even when the market pulls back as a whole, we don't really see NIO pull back nearly as much, or they aren't influenced as strongly as other stocks are. And this is a good thing for people who are invested in NIO because they're not going to see as great of losses when the overall market pulls back. But I guess the same thing could be said on the reverse too. When the overall market goes up, NIO doesn't necessarily go up as much either. NIO seems to kind of ride on good news, and when good news comes out, NIO gets pretty inflated pretty quickly, especially because we saw that $40 price point from JP Morgan, and then NIO shot up like 26% in one day. And since that high that they hit around $29, they haven't dropped too much since then. And that's a good thing for NIO. But now I kind of want to go over how much of an influence the Chinese government has on NIO's share price, and whether they could actually continue climbing if somehow they lost government support. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose government support. I think the Chinese government will continue supporting NIO, and more specifically just electric vehicles as a whole. But if something were to happen, like say we found out that NIO was fraudulent, like what happened to Nikola, or if they were reporting exaggerated numbers or something, it's possible that they could lose government support. So I just kind of want to go over how much of an influence the government has on them and if they could still succeed without the support of the government in China. Now it says here that while Tesla has a big lead in China's electric vehicle market, the government is determined to make it a short-lived one. Now I'm not sure exactly what this means. Just from reading it, it seems like the government wants to kind of shut down Tesla, but I don't think that would be the case because I've definitely read other places that the government sort of supports Tesla too because they are an electric vehicle company. Now I don't know how much they support Tesla versus NIO. I'm sure they support NIO well beyond what they do for Tesla, but I don't know the specifics of how much support they're giving to both companies. And I don't know if the Chinese government is against Tesla either. But now moving over to government support for NIO, in China, they saw the electric car revolution coming from a long ways off, according to this article. And apparently their pollution is compared with 19th century London. And so the government has built huge solar and wind farms to kind of help reduce this pollution. And at least in the media, I've never been to China, but in the media, you always see people over in Asia and specifically China wearing masks. And I don't think it's because of illnesses or anything. I think it's due to the pollution. So if you guys have been to China or if you've lived in China, let me know if there's a difference down below and if people wear masks for other reasons. But I believe it's for pollution reasons. And so you can see why the Chinese government wants to support these electric vehicle companies. And there's actually dozens of electric car brands in China. There's just a few big ones that we actually hear about. And those are like NIO, Li Auto, XPeng, and obviously Tesla. But of course Tesla is leading the way, and they actually have a Shanghai Gigafactory where they produce thousands of electric vehicles every month, and they actually made a deal with a Chinese battery firm, which is called CATL, C-A-T-L, and they have a cell-to-pack technology that's supposed to reduce costs and increase the range of Tesla vehicles. But Tesla is actually trying to bring their battery production in-house and produce everything themselves, and they actually have a new tabless design, which should help with range and help with charging time as well for Tesla vehicles. But right now they're still buying a lot of these batteries from CATL, but it says that NIO is the high-end play. So what I'm picking up from this is that the Chinese government is more in favor of NIO, and that's understandable because NIO is from China and everything is done in China. So I think they would rather have a Chinese brand than somebody foreign from the US. But I think for now they're going to support all electric car brands because there's not one that sticks out like Tesla right now in regards to electric vehicle companies specifically in China. And it says that while William Li acts as the front man, what's behind the door is government finance and government ambition. So this kind of makes you wonder how big of an influence the government actually has over NIO's share price, and whether they're possibly pumping money into NIO, or somehow they're buying options and really inflating the price of NIO when they want. Because there's definitely been big hedge funds and banks that have been known to do this before. I don't mean specifically in China, but we've seen this type of thing before. So it's not something you should just kind of pass by and act like it's not possible. I think it's definitely something to consider, especially if you're investing in NIO. And if you guys didn't actually know, China has 15 different electric vehicle makers. Most of them actually make vans and sedans though. And it says that you can think of NIO as the Ferrari in China. Now, I don't think this is a very bold claim. Personally, I don't think of them as like a super luxury vehicle because they're not priced that much higher than Tesla vehicles. And it kind of depends on what you prefer, because a lot of people would choose a Tesla over a NIO vehicle just because they're way more minimalist. But I don't know how that goes over in China. Maybe once NIO is bigger, people would choose more NIO vehicles over Tesla vehicles. But aside from that, China had 91 domestic car brands in 2019, and NIO was number 62 in sales. So this isn't actually too bad. I mean, they are in the lower third of sales, but they're also a relatively new company. They haven't been established for a super long time. So if you gave NIO a few more years, we should really start seeing them increase and working their way up the ladder towards those top spots. And so even though NIO is number 62 in sales right now, William Li is telling investors that NIO should be able to scale from 60,000 deliveries per year up to 150,000 next year. And this was part of the reason why JP Morgan actually increased their price target up to $40. And then obviously we all know what happened after that new price forecast came out. But now if we actually look at the numbers, in the first half of 2020, NIO lost about 400 million on sales of about 725 million. And their next reporting date is on November 10th. And analysts are actually expecting their sales to be 629 million with a loss of 17 cents per share, or 180 million. And it says that NIO state backers had taken the cash balance to nearly 1.6 billion at the end of June, but that the runway isn't eternal. And so it looks like NIO is being pumped up, and their market cap has actually been raised to 8 billion. And this kind of extends how long they can stay afloat without making a profit. But in order to actually validate this high market cap, NIO has to continue growing, and they actually have to continue growing in a very crowded market. As you could see, they were number 62 in sales back in 2019 among 91 car brands. So they're in the lower third according to their sales. And they should be higher this year because they've delivered quite a substantial amount higher of vehicles. But NIO is very dependent on the millennial generation, the people born between 1980 and 2000, because apparently they're as spoiled as any baby boomer, according to this article. And NIO is trying to directly advertise to them with all these amenities like the NIO house and clubs. And this is apparently supposed to feed their ego and kind of make them feel loved. And so it seems like NIO is trying to play on their emotions, kind of like Apple does. Like once you buy one Apple product, you feel like you need everything. I think they're doing a similar thing with NIO. So personally, I think the government support for NIO is pretty high. I think without the support, at least as of right now, I don't think NIO would be doing nearly as well as they are. Personally, I'm not sure if NIO would even be around if there wasn't government support, but I don't think the government support is going to go anywhere anytime soon. It seems like they want NIO to succeed, and they'll do anything they can to keep NIO afloat. And that's not a bad thing, because if you have government support from a country with the most amount of people, it's almost like you can't lose, because then they're marketing to the biggest country there is, with 1.4 billion people or something like that. So you guys might not agree with me on this government support and how much they actually affect NIO's share price, but that's just kind of my personal opinion. And I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but I just thought I'd put this out there just to kind of give you guys maybe a new perspective if you haven't considered this. And if you haven't considered possibly how much the government can influence NIO's share price. So I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments on how much you think the government is affecting NIO's share price. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Also, if you guys haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you sign up using the link in the description. You'll get 2 free stocks when you deposit $100. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit the like button, because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.